Father accepts me.
Bible Club. Eternal life.
He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. This is Huge Pop back with the Pops World Order and my big man to the right of me, Rico, and Nikki D. What's going on, my guys? How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, doing good, man. Still love that intro. Every time I hear it, man, you just get those goosebumps. Love
Absolutely.
that intro.
That's probably the intro of the year, the song that I love playing the most, the song that pisses some people off in the CWF, but
they're not too fond of it.
No. So, how you doing today, Nikki D?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Sorry, this froze up again, so I couldn't hear what you said before that.
Okay. I was just saying that
I'm having all sorts of issues over here.
that was a Huge Pop Wrestling podcast song of the year. Everybody that I seem to like that song, but sometimes some people at CWF didn't like it, so there he's gone. But hey, it is winding down the year of 2023. We're gonna do some the end of the year awards. I guess my question to my co-host Rick, looking back to all the guests that we've had on the show. I mean, I'll give you this to think about. We can give that at the end. The guest of the year.
The guest of the year?
Yeah.
You know, honestly, without even I would say come back to that, but I've already got the person in mind.
Okay.
Koa,
Mm-hmm.
man. I got so much great admiration and respect for that guy, and I love what he's doing, and he's just him. You know, he just keeps it real 100% of the time, and I love having him on the show. We've had him on a couple times, and he's just great.
That probably would be. I probably would have to put him on top. Really, I would, because he was one of the funnest guests we've had on the show. He was one of the ones that stayed in character, and he went with it, and it was probably one of the funnest times I've had on the show when I called him KOS. So that was pretty funny, and I'll never forget that. I will never forget that moment. But yeah, so Nikki D, we're just talking about what do you think has been the best guest of the year that's been on the Huge Pop Wrestling podcast on like the show that you've been on?
Oh man. Of the ones that I have been on, and there's been a lot of good guests. Ooh, there's a couple of them, but the one that really got me, just because I didn't expect all of that stuff with Johnny Lawless, because of all the things that he talked about and what his career was and all of it, just kind of blew my mind. I went away from that interview like, wow. There's been a lot of good people, but that one really, really stuck out to me. So,
yeah, I've really enjoyed the interactions with the CWF Rockwall guys. I mean, Luke 9 was fantastic.
Yeah, he was too.
Johnny Lawless was a blast. Phil the Real Deal Bishop, he was funny. He was good. He hated that song that we played at the beginning of the thing, but
Yep.
it was fun. But Koa for sure was fun. Yeah, man. We had a lot of. I cannot say we we had a lot of good guests on the show. That's one thing I can.
Everybody was great.
We ought to be proud of.
There was the gentleman that he was feuding with. You had him on at the same time, and it was fantastic.
Koa, that would have been Nasty Nick Nolan.
Nick,
there you go. He was money. That guy was great. He was great. Like everything out of his mouth was like just gold. I loved that. I loved when he was on there. I watched that one. I'm like, dude, this guy's great, man. He won't even like. He was kayfabe the whole way.
Yeah, and just a little bit of information. Sometime before the middle of January, if they all works out, Nick Nolan and Brian Kendrick from I don't know where he's at now, but Brian Kendrick, they face off in January or March maybe, and then we're trying to work that out too. So 2023 is
Brian Kendrick.
yes.
Brian Kendrick. All right.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's awesome.
January.
One guy I do just want to throw a shout out to, man. I really like and respect the guy, man. Is Rich Port Ayala.
Yes.
Ayala.
Yes, that was fun. That
Boricua.
Yep.
That was good. That one was good.
A lot, man. I really respect him a lot.
I don't know if you were on the show when we had Francisco Piazzo. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Yeah, watch that one.
Yeah. Just the guys that are already in the books for January are for the CWF is Ron Starr, Scotty Matthews, Announcer Beard, Tim Storm, and then the founder of CWF, Rob Vaughn's going to be on in February. Yeah, and so
good.
we have Brandon Espinozo coming on, Kendall Ryan, January 3rd, Randy Hogan, the guy in WCW that that came out in the Hogan hair and Hogan.
Was that the guy that was like, oh no, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. That was Horace Hogan or whoever. Was he the one who played his nephew or no?
I don't know.
Was that? No, that wasn't him.
No.
That was like, I'm getting him confused then.
Yeah.
His name was probably different.
Right. And I want to say this before we get any further. 2024 will not go on unless I have you guys as partners, because I will give props to you guys right now before we go further in the show. Rico, man, you know, more than just a brother-in-law to me. I love having you on. I love the idea that we got together way back in March, I think, and we agreed to do this. George, man, I love when you come on. You're a busy man, and I appreciate the times you do come on. You guys bring knowledge and excitement to the show, and I appreciate every single one of you. I really do.
Well, I love being on the show, man.
100%.
I really appreciate you having me on.
I love the connection we made, the group that we made for Mondays and Tuesdays. George, I know you got busy Mondays. If there's another day during the week, nighttime that you can go, let me know, man, because the spot's there for you.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you.
You guys are brilliant. I'm serious, brilliant people and brilliant wrestling knowledge and stuff like that. So I appreciate it 100%.
I'm a fan. So I just always, I don't know, I enjoy it from a fan's perspective too. It's just fun.
Thank you.
We appreciate your knowledge, man, and coming, just letting us be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Pray for this. I've been talking to Brian Espinozo. He works with WLW and OVW. The show on Netflix, I think. The Wrestlers. Yeah. Okay.
Is that on Netflix?
I don't know if it's on Netflix or on one of the shows. It's The Wrestlers. The guest that I'm talking about with Brian Espinozo. He's coming on the 9th. He stars in that show. He's part of OVW. He's trying to get me hooked up with OVW, the podcast up with OVW guys. And so yeah. So
that's big.
Yeah, so things are gonna happen, I think, but they wouldn't happen. I couldn't do this without you guys, honestly. I mean, I do a show with my brother, once a week, and then you guys come on, and it's hard to find good people, and you guys are great people. So I appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Wrestlers, we're gonna do a wrestling 2023 pro wrestling. Again, it's all opinions. Wrestling, our year-end review. Everybody has their own opinion. I got into a little bit of a debate on TikTok. I got blocked by a gentleman on TikTok because I had a different opinion. So this guy, I'll say his name is Heel Josh. I don't care if he watches this. I don't really give a shit. Anyways, he was on there and he said he has his own. He's a big content creator. Whatever. He has his own awards, Cassidy, for his own awards, and he gives his own awards, and he said the worst promotion of the year. And I'm thinking, okay, it could be anything, right? Well, he thinks, I mean, his worst promotion is NWA.
What?
Billy Corgan's NWA. And I'm like, how is that the worst? So I asked him, I said, how's that the worst? I said, you know what's worse than that is content creators that knew Randy Orton was going to show up at the last pay-per-view, and they still lost their mind by overreacting. Oh my God, that's worse than NWA. And he immediately blocked me after that. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
To call NWA the worst promotion of 2023, that's a lot of balls.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't agree with that at all.
A lot of guys that came through the Huge Pop Wrestling podcast, Koa, what's his name, Nasty Nick, all these guys, some of the young indie guys are going to NWA and making it big.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the next step to ROH or Impact. But to call that, I just disagree. So, but again, he's all right. He can have his opinion, just like
that's his opinion. Yeah, but wow,
yeah,
that's a bold statement.
So we can start with Male of the Year. Some of the nominees are Josh Alexander, Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson, Gunther, Carmella Hayes, Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Sanda, and of course MJF. So there's a list.
Yeah, that's a good list.
You can have your own. So Rico, who's your wrestler of the year, male wrestler of the year?
Man, you just really made that one hard because I mean, Seth's my dog, and I want to go with him. I really do, but I don't want to go against Seth because he's done so good this year. But I kind of almost put MJF a little bit over him because I feel like this year MJF has done a lot. He really has. He's kind of, I mean, AEW's already established itself, but I feel like he's got him more established. Yeah. Got him more well known.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I might say MJF, but then creeping around that corner is Carmelo Hayes. Mm-hmm. If you pay attention to watch him in NXT, man, that guy is awesome.
He's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Gold.
But I my pick, MJF.
All right. How about you, Nikki D? What do you think?
The first one I would go with, I say this personally because you said it's our opinion.
Yeah.
So, and I love the list that you have. It's fantastic. But almost all of the names on that list are people that I wanted to already liked anyway. But there's one name that you said on that list who was somebody I was like, I didn't care for this person, and they made me respect them. They made me get into their matches, and they made it to where if they're out there and they're wrestling, I'm like, I got to watch this because it made me from not a fan to a fan. That's Gunther. I had no interest in that guy whatsoever. And now I'm like, this guy is awesome. All his matches are fantastic.
Right.
And everything from his entrance, like from the way his music hits, his entrance when he comes to the ring, his goons he has with him, like the whole thing, just I'm totally invested. And I didn't even care about the guy at first. So to me, and he's had a killer year.
Mm-hmm.
Killer year.
No,
so,
that's a good one right there, man.
That is a good one.
Look at that last match you just had against The Miz.
Yeah, that was good.
Dude, I still think about his match that he had against oh gosh, why am I drawing the
one against Sheamus and Drew?
No, not that one. Which that was epic. But what's his name? Shush, who used to be part of
Chad Gable.
Oh, it's so horrible.
I just watched that the other day.
Thank you, please. Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That match.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, man. Just I sat there and watched that match. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And I actually thought, like, it made me believe. I was like, "Dude, Gable could win." It was like it just pulled you in, and he's a stupid good worker. He's fantastic. He can work with anybody. He can work with anybody. So yeah, he's my pick. Like, it's been a killer year for him.
Yep.
I hear you guys. Gunther. Yeah, the list I gave you guys. Yeah, he's proved it. I was a Roman Reigns guy. I think I was more the storyline guy than Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins, yes. Yeah, Rico, yeah. Seth Rollins, what do you say about him? He's just phenomenal.
Always is.
Cody Rhodes, I think. I just hope the storyline ends. The story's over soon. And you hit it right on the money with MJF being the face of AEW. But I'm going to go with what I think, in my opinion, again, it's opinions, the best male wrestler of the year, because he's been a tag team. He's been part of a faction. And now he's on his own. And we're going to give the Yeet Jey Uso. Wrestler of the year. Yeah.
That's a good pick, man.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I see what you're saying is because, look how many times were they tag team champions?
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think.
You have to put him up there as one of the best WWE tag team champions of all time.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
And look at the matches he's had since he's gone solo.
Right.
Even the ones he's had with Roman, he can hold his own, man.
Yeah.
He really can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was between him and MJF, because MJF, let's face it, I used to hate MJF until I realized who he was.
Oh, I did too.
And what 100%. He was doing.
And I was like, he was just like Nikki D, like you were saying. It's just like I didn't care to watch him, but then I got to a point. I'm like, I have to see what this guy's going to do next.
I mean, he went from a heel to where he's at now, kind of a heel-isk, but whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. So he's transitioned and he's carried AEW for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I think the guy that for me that earned Wrestler of the Year, male wrestler of the year, would be Jey Uso, in my opinion.
Okay, good picks.
Female Wrestler of the Year. I got some names. Again, we don't have to use these names, but Athena, Bayley, Giulia, Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Marsha Slamovich, Toni Storm, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch.
All right. I'm gonna go on this one because I want to say, on one hand, she's gonna be my runner-up, Toni Storm. She has had a great year. She really has come around, done great, women's champion. But I'm actually, the reason why I'm picking this is because she has proven to be tag team champion, women's champion, and it doesn't matter win or lose. She gives it all, and she puts on a show, and she gets the crowd involved. Is Bayley?
Yeah.
She is always a great worker. Now, I think she's underrated.
Yeah, I do think. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I love Bayley. Bayley started out as a fan. She's the real deal. Like she gets it. She understands the business. And I think she's underrated too. I really do. She's fantastic.
Absolutely. Is that your pick too, Rico or Nikki D?
No, the one that, and I love, great list. Again, it's really sucky when you have a good list. So I just try to go with the first one, and I watch anything that she's on. She does interviews. I listen. She's on, I don't know, she was on like some show, and it was like an early morning news network. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch this, just so I could listen to her. She gets me invested and interested in what she's doing. That's Mommy. That's my pick. And she just does. She gets it. She gets it, and she's good at what she does. She's like a slime ball heel, but she can work her butt off. She just, like, I'm interested. If that's the thing, if you can get me interested in what you're saying, Like some people, lots of WWE or AEW superstars will go on, different things, but shoot, man, like you have to really care in order to watch it. You have to care in order to like pick up that magazine that they're on. I can't tell you all the things I have still sitting on my shelf just because like Triple H was in a Muscle magazine. I'm going to get that because I was huge into Triple H, and before him it was Shawn Michaels. Like, so yeah, for me, like Rhea is that female superstar where I'm like, yeah, man, she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard. I mean, I agree with you, George or Nikki D. I'm sorry. I 100% agree with that. Even you, Rico. Matter of fact, if I'm going to agree with Rico because of just this. Because I loved what they did when Bayley came down with Damage Control at when she came back with those women. That was
Wasn't it like that
was SummerSlam?
SummerSlam. Yeah, that was that big comeback. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that blossomed into what she's been doing 2023. She's funny.
Oh yeah.
she's fits any role. She can probably one of those ladies in the back you pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
If Asuka did not get hurt or wasn't out of action the period of time that she was, that would be my pick. It would be Asuka. I love everything she does. She's gold.
Yeah.
I love the promo she cuts in her language, and
Mm-hmm.
she's so passionate. You want to watch. You want to see what she's gonna do. I will pick Asuka as my female wrestler of the year, but I'd have to go with my second would be Bayley because she's been there all year.
Yeah, Bayley's awesome. Asuka's awesome too. And the more serious, if you notice that around the same time, a couple of years ago, where Asuka, I think she won the ladies' rumble match, and then Shinsuke, he won the men's, and then they both went, and it was like just they showed up at WrestleMania, and Asuka was squashed by Charlotte, not squashed, but she lost to her, and for no reason because she could have really used that push. But this time around, like when Shinsuke was feuding with Seth, like a lot of his promos and stuff is just like whatever and off the wall. They try and make him funny, but since you have a different creative mind running the show. I remember when he was feuding with Seth and he cut that promo. It was like a serious promo when he was like going after his back. And I was like, gosh dang, that was good. That was like the best I've ever heard him. And Asuka too. So they're like, I don't know. It's like they're taken more seriously. So
I love what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura recently. Now that guy is evil as heck.
Yeah.
And you want to pay attention because you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is that's some wicked stuff he's talking there,
Well, see, that's the way I feel about Tony Storm, man. Is because before, like we said, I didn't really care to watch, and now I'm invested. Like when I see, I'm like, man, she puts on a heck of a match, and she's been cutting some really good promos with that whole like cinema vintage photos she's been doing, and it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Tag team of the year. Yeah, FTR, the Creed brothers, the Aussie Open, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, Jay White and Juice Robinson, Ace Austin and Chris Bay. I don't. There's more out there. I know, but what's your guys' take on the best tag team of the year?
Someone else go first on this one. I got to think about this. Oh my goodness.
Okay. I'm going to say, and this just the buildup was so big. It was like huge. And the first one that pops in my head, and I think it's just because they built it right. And it kind of went full circle. And I'm not going to say the Usos, even though that I want to say the Usos. I was thinking they're the greatest, dude. They're amazing. How about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? The way that all worked around and just like it was magic. It was just magic. Like the pop they got I was like, good Lord, man. just I don't know that they're my pick, and I know they weren't a team the entire year. I get that, but it's moments, right? It's moments. It's the moments that you remember, and they created a moment that I remember. I still have the pictures on my phone. I took pictures when they captured the titles. I was like, dude, I took a pic, and I never take a picture when I'm watching a pay-per-view, but it was that moment. They created a moment. So that's why they're my pick.
Wow. Yeah.
All right, so we're going with the males first.
Uh-huh.
I maybe just because I've been very fond of them lately, but I mean, all year they've really put on really good shows. Their chemistry is just like none other with each other. I'm going to say the Creed brothers.
Yeah.
Those guys have really amazed me lately. Like when I sit there, whenever I see NXT, and now, now they're up on what, Raw now.
Yep.
So I'm like, I gotta watch them.
Okay.
They've got my attention, man. So I like the Creed brothers. I'm gonna go with them. There's other great tag teams. There really
All
is.
Right. I love the Usos. Not gonna lie, but Nikki D, I have to get on your bandwagon. The first thing I thought about was KO and Sami Zayn. I used to hate Sami Zayn, but I see him in person. I see him live. And now I respect him. And you're right. They took the storyline. Let's face it. That storyline would have been dead if it wasn't for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The everything from the promos to the uncertainty with each other, the friendship. What am I a friend? Are you a friend? Are we enemies? How are we going to do this? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Even at the War Games or I think it was War Games, or the big double cage. What was Sammy going to do? What an amazing tag team that they put together to help boost and launch the Bloodline storyline.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. For that,
It really was.
I'll have to agree with Nikki D, man. They had to be probably the best tag team of the year.
No, that's a very good pick, man.
Absolutely.
Moment.
Match of the year. I only got a few. MJF, Bryan Danielson, AEW Revolution.
Oh, that was great.
Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Payback. Here's the one you guys mentioned earlier. Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, WrestleMania 39. FTR, Bullet Club, Collision. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania.
I kind of put two of them there. It'll be kind of a second.
Oh, and Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay in Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh man. So the first one is going to be kind of just a runner-up. I'm putting it up there because I feel like it should be up there because it's somebody who you wouldn't think should be up there. Nikki D, we've talked about this before. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. That match. You have a guy who shouldn't be a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But Damian carried, but he did his own thing too. And that match really shocked me. And I sat there just watching like, wow, like I was into it so much. Like, this is a great match right here. This is insane.
Yep.
Man. First one. What was that match? I know who we went
MJF, Daniel Bryanson, AEW Revolution.
That was my, because if you watch that match, man.
Insane.
Like, I've always loved Bryan Danielson and the MJF. Like I said, I've been on his bandwagon for a minute now, and that was a heck of a match.
Before I lose my thought, I'd let you go, Nikki D. But before I lose my thought, you were talking about Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. One that in the same concept as what you just said, Rico. people that shouldn't be good at doing what they do surprised the hell out of me. The two that work together, like, oh my God moments, would be for this match of the year Logan Paul and Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? I mean,
I knew you were
every
gonna say
time
that.
it's high spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the middle of the air collision, in the middle of the ring, and fall into the what?
Yep.
Then
Yep.
the next next pay-per-view, they had another match. Wow, what? So yeah, I guess they could be. I would say, yeah, that's really close to the high match of the year. But MJF and Bryan Danielson at Revolution, nothing competes to that. I mean, that was insane. I mean, I would have to say, who did Roman Reigns fight in 39? Was that Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, it was Cody.
That was decent, but I don't think it was like a MJF Daniel Bryanson match.
No, it was a good match, but it wasn't compared to MJF or.
So I would say MJF Bryan Danielson, but I really want to put Ricochet and Logan Paul above that.
No, it
I do.
deserves
Yeah, I'm going for it. Logan Paul, Ricochet, match of the year.
it.
I'm doing it. It's my
Oh,
opinion. Who cares? All right,
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, I was going to surprise everybody, but yeah, Rick already stole that thunder. When you talked about at the beginning of the show, the match of the year, and you already know how I feel about that triple threat match. Sheamus and Gunther and McIntyre. But how about Bad Bunny and Damian Priest? That was like unbelievable. As a guy who, like you said, Huge Pop, should have no business being any good in the ring.
Mhm.
And he just he threw all caution to the wind.
Right.
He took everything serious. Like it was like he didn't make a joke out of the business. He took it very, very serious, and that was amazing. And then you stole my thunder too when you were talking about Ricochet and Logan Paul, because I'm like, that match, nobody can forget about that. You know what one pops in my mind too, when I was also thinking about it earlier, that it doesn't, because the way the match, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people talk about this one, but Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes,
Yes.
because that match, I personally, I like both of them, but I'm like, together, I don't know how this is going to work. The match was fantastic. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. And the way it ended was unreal. And then when he went up and he shook his hand and just showed him respect, I was like, wow, you know what? I might pick that one just because it created a moment there. It was a moment. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you see Brock Lesnar shake someone's hand
Never.
in a match?
Never.
After
You
a
don't.
match, especially.
Never.
you don't. So yeah, he earned the respect of the beast. Yeah,
Mhm.
I always remember that one. I like that one. So lots of good ones you could pick, but that one sticks out to me because I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and it was really good. And I just was like, gosh dang, that was a good match. Like just everything about it. Everything about it.
Absolutely. Faction of the year. Got the Judgment Day, of course, the Bloodline, LWO, Bullet Club Gold, Mogul Embassy, Blackpool Combat Club, Damage Control, Alpha Academy, and my boy Alex Kane, Boom Maye Fight Club.
All right. Bullet Club Gold, man. That's just, I like them, but wow, I can't pronounce the freaking name. The Combat Club, was it Moxley?
Blackpool, yeah,
Blackpool. Thank you. I really like them a lot, really do, but nothing can go against the ones. I'm not going against them. I'm not going. That's my faction for the year.
Is your faction a faction, or are you talking just a tag team?
Faction.
Faction. Okay. Yeah. So you're referring to the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's my pick because everything they did was gold. The whole Sami Zayn coming in as an honorary Uso and everything, just because that was this year. and all of that stuff has been happening, and it's like
He made everything oozy.
Yeah.
they made it like you can't miss. I want to see what's happening. I want to watch. I want to know what's going on. I want to know,
Absolutely.
and Roman Reigns, because of all that, became that guy. He
Yep.
became that guy who, when he takes the mic, everybody shuts up, the crowd gets quiet, and then he'll say wherever they're at, and then he'll go acknowledge me, and he became like that. Yeah, everything about it just works. So that's my faction.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go at the ones only because. Okay, we got Judgment Day. Yeah, okay, Rhea. I get that. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet Club. Yeah. Blackpool Combat Club. Bunch of badasses.
I love him. Love him.
Love them. I love them. I don't know what to say about. Can't say nothing bad about Cesaro and Moxley. What do you say about them? They're badasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, and I picked the Bloodline because they have this guy. My name is Paul Heyman. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that faction is the only faction, if you think about it, that has everything you were talking about, Nikki D. You have a champion. You have Sammy being Usi. You have the tag team champions.
Mm-hmm.
You got the manager, the man on the mic, the man behind it all, the brains behind it all.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, Paul Heyman is a brainiac, and watching him with a cell phone and talking to people and stirring the pot just like I do, and just who would not want to do the Bloodline for those reasons?
Yeah.
I gotta say this, man. And when he retires, after he retires, if he is not immediately put into the Hall of Fame, that's some bull crap.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
that
no.
guy has done so much for the business.
Yeah, and
So much.
Absolutely. And I have a hard time, and I'm an NWO guy. I love me some NWO. I think that was probably the best moment as a fan that I ever remember is when Hogan comes down and drops the leg on Macho Man Randy Savage. And
Yeah.
then boom, blows up into this big faction that we just thought was, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. But they had the Eric Bischoff. What made them so good, again, they had Hogan, they owned the champion, they owned the tags, and they had that manager.
Mhm.
Eric Bischoff was a brain. I mean, so now I'm like, what about who's better, Bloodline or NWO? And I'm like, I'm not even going to pick that. That's not even going to be fair. I would not even do that.
Because it's different eras.
Yes.
You got different eras,
Yes. So, storyline of the year. Of course, you got the Bloodline storyline. You got the MJF Adam Cole friendship. Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, generational feud.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Cassidy wearing down, defending the international championship. Athena and the Billy Starks minion in the training story. I don't know what that is. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks double crossing Gallus.
Yep.
Story of the year.
I once again am going to go with my Bloodline. I'm not going against them because just for the fact we've already said it, they keep bringing you back. You want to know what's going on the next show.
Yep.
Like you're sitting there, like I don't care what's going on in the show. Okay, Roman and the Bloodline's coming out. What's going on?
Mhm.
They have you hooked every time.
Yep.
You look at the viewership when you know Roman's going to be there and all the Bloodline's going to be there.
Yeah. Look at the merch sales.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who does not have a Bloodline shirt? I mean, hell. I mean, let's face it. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast stole
Day one.
the day one-ish. I mean,
I've got 4 or 5 Roman shirts.
yeah, come on now.
And you got the beard too.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
So is that your pick too, Nikki D? Bloodline?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the moments. It's those moments. They create memories. And I still remember I still remember that time when he didn't trust Sammy. and I'm sorry, Jay, because Jimmy was cool with Sammy. He was like, yeah, Jimmy was cool, but Jay didn't trust him. And then Sammy was trying to talk to him, and he was like, he said something about, you got to listen or whatever, to the tribal chief. He said something like that, and Jay was like, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief has to say. And Roman looked up, and the crowd was like, "Ooh,
it got you."
That was good. And Roman slowly turned his head, like, "You said what?" Like that whole thing. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Just invested.
And
So
how Jay
invested.
kept his head down too.
One of my favorites was I just watched it like earlier when Jay and Jimmy, they were all arguing about who was in and who was out.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay's up just yelling at him, you did this, so for that, you're out. And I am too. And he turned around and super kicked Roman Reigns in the face. Oh my God. That was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that.
That was amazing.
They built that up. They built that up.
Yeah.
Just like they built that up that whole time where Sammy just, all he wanted was to be in that group. And then he kept shoving him, and then he had the chair and he was telling him to bash Kevin Owens and he hit Roman, and it was just like the place erupted. And I was like, he did it. I was sitting on the couch marking out. I was like, he did it. He actually hit him. That's how I felt when he threw that super kick, because he told him, you're out. And I was like, oh man, poor Jimmy, because Jimmy, like, who doesn't like Jimmy? I was like, poor Jimmy, and he was like, you're out. And I'm out too, and just kicked him. And I was like, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that was a moment. Another moment created by that same faction.
Yeah. Promo of the year.
Oh.
Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn Monday Night Raw. MJF opening up about his personal struggles with seal his baby face turn in AEW. CM Punk's return promo on SmackDown. Christian Cage and Adam Copeland's first AEW meeting. And Canada's turn on Trish, or whatever you have.
I am going to go with the Adam Copeland and Christian, because wow, the first one that they had. Because wow, here we have, like, for me, I was like, man, you got the best friends, Edge and Christian just coming back together. This is going to be sweet. And Christian, F off or F you.
Yeah, go after yourself. That was
what just happened here?
Mm-hmm.
It just you were pulled in because as a fan, you're like, oh, this is so sweet, and then it just took the biggest twist.
Yeah, and that storyline, and if you watch that AEW, that storyline's getting big and good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what about you, Nick and D?
Honestly, I'd have to agree, because that was the one thing that made me watch AEW, because I don't always watch it. That made me watch AEW, and that shocked me. And that whole thing was, well, they're both awesome. So that was just really, really good. I wish this wasn't, because promos are supposed to make you feel something, and make you like, wow, this is really. So, I mean, but this promo didn't happen this year. I think it was last year, but I still remember it. So I wish we would have did a countdown last year, because I would have had it. I always remember Cody Rhodes, his promo that he cut before he was, when he was on his way after he won the Rumble, and he was going to go work his match, for the title against Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And he was with Paul Heyman, and he cut that promo. That was like a shoot. And he talked about how Paul Heyman helped their family out and brought Dusty in and actually got Paul Heyman choked up. That was a promo. That was a real promo. Like where the crowd was even chanting Paul Heyman and stuff. And that was the best one that I'd heard, like ever between the both of them, and they just like pulled, like they said, they pulled back the curtain. But no, I'd have to go with Christian and Adam. That I'd have to agree, because it made me watch. So
I will. Yeah, I wish I could see. I wish they did this beginning of the year, but Juice Robinson and Jay White. They are cutting some major promos on Mr. MJF. Man, I hate to say this, but everything MJF does now is gold. I mean, he's just brilliant. Brilliant. But the one promo that sticks in my mind was the night that Randy Orton got in the ring with the Judgment Day. And his final famous words was, "But guess what, Rhea? Daddy's back."
I loved it because
that was freaking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and of course, everything CM Punk has done since he's been back to WWE, all those promos are just gold.
Well, and you got to think about it, man. Randy's that one person who will put Rhea's legs on the rope and DDT her right to the mat.
Yes. I'm
Oh,
waiting.
you don't care.
That's building up, man. I'm waiting.
He's either going to RKO her or he's going to DDT her. One of the two.
One of the two.
I still remember one
how
of
do
my
you come
favorite
back?
ones he did was, sorry, Nikki, was when Triple H was handcuffed and he has Stephanie and just looks at him and blah, drops
yeah.
back.
Yeah. That was amazing. That was amazing. Yeah, he's not right, dude. Like, he just annoys me. How do you come back looking that good? Just like he looks as good as he did when he started his career. He's in fantastic shape. It's like he doesn't age. I'm
He's
like,
a beast, man.
I know. I was just looking at him like, you annoy me. That's not
Did you see
fair.
AJ Styles?
He's a
Just
monster
came
too.
back.
Jesus.
Something
Yeah.
happened to him. Yeah, I was looking at him recently. I'm like, something happened. AJ, like, dude,
Like he
he
was
wasn't
hitting
even
the
like
gym.
that back in the what's it
Impact.
called, Impact days. Back when he was on TNA, he was like not like that. So yeah,
Man, I cannot. Well, man, talk about promos.
There's been a lot of good promos.
You cannot not discuss LA Knight in this conversation.
No, well,
A lot
I
of
feel
his
like every time he talks, it's a great promo.
Yeah, every time. And before Bray Wyatt passed, those two guys went back and forth in a great promo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but
yeah, his promos aren't bad. I guess I didn't even think about that.
so yeah,
It's just, you think about that when remember they did that the tribute Raw, because you had, unfortunately, Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. They passed away really, really close. So then they had that, basically it was like a tribute show where they came out and he came out and he talked about Bray some, and then Cody came out and talked about Terry Funk. That was fantastic.
yeah.
I remember that too. And it wasn't really a promo. He just came out and talked, but it was just awesome. The stuff he talked about and the way he used Terry Funk's lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just that was really, really good. I remember that one.
MJF.
Was it LA Knight that did the? I think it was LA Knight that did Bray Wyatt's "Let Me In."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember MJF going off on Tony Khan.
Oh,
He made you feel, and he still does, makes you feel like he's coming to the WWE. I mean, it sounds like he's gonna. I mean, but I don't know.
I don't think he will, man. Just because he's got it over there. He really does.
Yeah.
He does. It's just it's whether he wants to. Well, it's like they say, hell froze over because CM Punk is back,
Mhm.
and I didn't think I would ever see that again. It's just the way they do things. It's not willy nilly. It's like the story, and it's telling a story, and it's creating moments and everything. But he's fantastic, and he didn't sneak up on me at all. I didn't hate the guy because when he looked at the people at ringside, it was during like the COVID, so there wasn't really that many people there. You had some of the people and some of the workers, and there were some chicks by the ringside, and he referred to them as ring rats. I lost it. I lost it, and I was like, this guy is freaking awesome. I'm everything he does, and and his stuff back and forth with CM Punk made me watch big time
Yeah.
because their stuff was fantastic when they were cutting each other down with promos and everything. He told them, "You're just a less famous Miz," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I love when he said that you're just a less famous Miz.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. MJF, I've been sold on him since I first saw him there. I was like, this guy's amazing. That was back when he still had what's his face, Wardlow, who he treated like crap. So you knew that was coming eventually, but he treated him like crap. You know, I'm like, dude, that guy is huge. But he was just like, "Will you get that? You know, move the rope from here, whatever." He's such a punk, but he's so great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked him from the start.
Pay-per-view of the year. We had the Forbidden Door, AEW New Japan. Backlash, AEW All In, ROH Supercard of Honor. Elimination Chamber this year. WrestleMania 39 Night 1. AEW Revolution and NXT No Mercy.
Actually, I think I'm going to go with Survivor Series.
Really?
Because of the War Games. When Randy came back, I think that. I mean, the women's though, by far, the women's War Games match was freaking off the charts. And then you had that whole pay-per-view was just good.
I didn't think about that one, man. I think I'm gonna agree quick. I'm gonna agree with Rico on that one. I'd have to say Survivors. I wasn't say WrestleMania 39 Night 1 because that was off the charts.
Oh, it was. It really was.
Yeah, it didn't compare to the SummerSlam. I'd have to say SummerSlam. No, I'm sorry, Survivor Series. I thought SummerSlam sucked. I thought that was
wasn't that great, but that Survivor Series is just, to me, every match is just I feel bad I can't remember the first match, but it just, since the first match I was just like, wow, we're starting to show off this way, this is amazing. And then you end it with Randy, RKO, and JD McDonald off the top of the cage. How much better does it get? Oh wait, let's bring back CM Punk at the end.
Would you think? Yeah, you think everything's done and over with. Yeah.
So that, to me, that was the best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah. The fact that you said that, it was weird. I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking of the ones that were listed, and I'm like, okay, I didn't see all of them, but I did see some. And then when you said Survivor Series, I'm like, oh,
that pay-per-view had Gunther and Miz.
Yep.
Had Escobar, Dragon Lee.
That was a great match, man.
Rhea Ripley, Zoe Starks.
Mm-hmm.
Then the men's, and
I'm trying to think of, was it Rhea that started the show off, her and Zoe?
Yeah, yes.
Because just from right out the gate, it was great.
Yeah, and the thing I loved about that was it was five matches, and it was solid.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a great. That's a good call, Rico.
Yeah, Logan Paul against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pay-per-view was lit.
Manager of the year, we have two that come to my mind. I only had two: Don Callis and Paul Heyman. And by far Paul Heyman, of course.
You got to put Don Callis there, but nobody beats Paul. Nobody's going to beat Paul.
Don Callis is more annoying than anything.
Yeah, like, he gets on your nerves. Like, somebody please punch him.
Please hit him in the face. Okay, so we got male breakout wrestler of the year: LA Knight, Swerve Strickland, Jey Uso, Trick Williams, Kyle Fletcher, Dominic Mysterio. Here we go. Let's go, boys.
Man, okay, if we're talking about merchandise, putting butts in seats, man, you got to look towards LA Knight. You just got to look that way. He's really done it. But man, somebody who's shown up, and Shawn Michaels said this, and I believe it to be true because I've watched it, every bit of it, is Dominic Mysterio's been there every single turn, man. Him and Cody Rhodes had the most matches out of the whole year. He's wrestled that, and he's getting better every time. He picks up a mic and he can't even talk. Like, that's how much people hate him. because he's got him hating him. And I'm going with Dominic. I'm sorry, LA Knight, man. I think you're great, but I'm going with Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
Breakout of the year.
Nikki D.
He's my pick also because I didn't care about him at all. I hated when he was teamed with his dad. He drove me nuts. I'm like, dude, he's riding his dad's coattails. I hate this kid. Get him out of there. Quit pushing him so much. And now I can't wait to watch him. And I just, every time he tries to talk and the people go nuts and I just roll with it. I'm like, oh, it's so great. And I still remember when he came out wearing his dad's mask. And he had the handcuffs, his entrance, like he was getting let out.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that is one of the sweetest entrances I've ever seen. He looked a little like his dad too when he had that mask on. I was like, gosh, that guy is so good. It annoys me. He just
started.
Yeah, so he's my breakout star. Like, because he's a guy I didn't want to like. I was like, dude, I wish he would go away. They have their feud. You know, Ray can whoop his butt and he can just disappear and go away, or he'll become like this guy that floats around on the roster and get beat by everybody. He'll become like one of those dudes you used to watch on Saturday mornings that wrestled like the real important people. He'll just be a jobber. I was like, you know, just Ray retire so your son can be a jobber. But no, man, that dude is money. He's money. Yeah, he's money.
So I got a question though, because I want to say, like everybody says, L.A. Knight. Yeah. I want to say that because he's on his own.
Mm-hmm.
He's put butts in seat with that gimmick. He's fired. Everybody goes nuts for him. My question to you guys need to convince me, because I'm on the cusp, because I agree with you with Dominic Mysterio. I still have one question about Dominic Mysterio. LA Knight doesn't need anybody to be him and get over. What would Dominic Mysterio be without the Judgment Day reputation? Could he still be Dominic Mysterio with a bad attitude, or is it because he's in the faction of the Judgment Day that makes him as good as everybody says he is? I am not saying he's not good. He even does the moves like Daddy did. He came in. One of my favorite things that he said was, "I just got done serving hard time one day." That was funny. But my question has always been, okay, I agree, Nikki D. The stuff with it when he was with his dad, Rey Mysterio, it sucked. That was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I could not stand Dominic Mysterio. That was just garbage. And then Judgment Day took him under their wing, and he's been with Mommy all this time. And the Judgment Day bad attitude persona. Take all that away from him. Is Dominic Mysterio going to be still that bad dude, or is he going to be just that guy that's floating around the locker room? So is it Judgment Day that is the breakout star of the year, or could Dominic still be on his own and be the breakout star of the year? If that makes sense.
Easy. Yeah, that's easy. Dominic didn't even. It's the fact that he's Rey Mysterio's son. It's the fact that he completely he altered his character from the, hey, Dad, let's go do this, I'm going to come out and be the baby face with my dad. And he did that on his own. I don't even know if he needed Judgment Day. Because if you strip all that away, strip away the Judgment Day, he's still Rey's son. And it was what he did with that relationship. And yeah, joining, going heel and going with the Judgment Day, all that stuff helped. But he's like, yeah, to me, he would be fine even if he didn't have that with the Judgment Day, because he could have still done that. Think about it. It's the same thing, right? You got a generational, star. Okay, like he's like what? Like, oh shoot. Well, no, he wouldn't be third generation. Well, actually, he would, because his dad was second generation, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So wait. Okay, yeah, I think his dad was second generation. So anyway, I'm thinking The Rock, right? Did The Rock need the Nation of Domination? Or did that just kind of help him as he was going heel and he developed that gimmick. No, like, because he was fine without him. You know what I mean? Like, he still did his thing without him. So
I'm gonna
Oh, s-
I don't know. I'm gonna banter back and forth with you, Dickie D, because you can't. When you put Dominic Mysterio in the same sentence as compared to The Rock and what he did in the Nation, no, The Rock was far better. He didn't need the Nation. I'm still not convinced that Dominic doesn't need Judgment.
well, I'm gonna say this. Okay, that
Brock
was a
was
very,
third
very
generation
good.
superstar. He was a third generation superstar. Nobody liked him when he was a face. When he came out as Rocky Maivia, that's why they chanted "Die Rocky Die." Like, nobody liked that guy, just like we didn't like Dominic Mysterio. And he took all that crap and turned it into a character, and he used it as fuel. Dirty Dom has done the same thing. He took it and used this fuel. And I even say this: when you compare like LA Knight and Dominic Mysterio is a much better in-ring worker. And I said it. I'm sorry. He is. He is. He's so good at being a prick. Like, he takes and does Eddie Guerrero's moves and intentionally does them wrong. But you know he can do them because he pulls them up, but he intentionally does them wrong just so he can, like, irritate you. That Dominic is an excellent worker. I'm sorry I make that comparison.
No, I was gonna see that was a very good analogy right there. The two of them, you know, obviously The Rock's better on the mic. To give Dom a little more time, but to answer your question, Huge Pop, no, he didn't need the Judgment Day.
Okay.
I think that he would have did just fine because the moment he turned on his dad, the moment he got that attitude, that's when, as soon as he went to talk, everybody just started hating him.
But it was the Judgment Day that gave him that attitude.
Not because he started.
He wouldn't have done. I don't think he would have done it. But if he would not have been able to turn him heel by himself.
No. Remember, he turned heel on his dad. He was going to do it anyways. You saw the writing on the wall because he was getting tired of pretty much sharing the spotlight with his dad. He always thought he was better than him.
Okay.
And you saw the writing on the wall, and then he takes Edge right in the noogers, and right there at that point, right there, that's when you're like, okay.
I'm not gonna. You know, I have mad respect for you guys' opinions. I really do, and that's cool about the three of us can go back and forth. And that's one thing I wish that guy Heel Josh on Facebook or on TikTok would understand.
Yeah.
Three guys like you and I, you know, Rico, Nikki D, and I, we can have difference of opinion. I don't think he would be as good as he is now by himself. You guys might be right. He could be. I don't know.
I don't think it would have been as with the Judgment Day. It helped him get there quicker.
Okay.
I think it probably would have took a little more time, but he would have gotten.
I'm not saying that guy is phenomenal. Like Nikki D, doing those moves on purpose, wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's intelligent. That's great. That's great.
Because for us who just love and respect Eddie, we're like, you do that move right.
Yeah.
Wrong.
I can say so.
He
But
takes his time with the twisting the legs when he's doing the three of me. He's just like, gosh dang, you annoying little jerk. He does it on purpose because you've seen him do it before. He's just doing it on purpose. He's so obnoxious. But I don't mean to kick a dead horse here, but if you think about it, The Rock really wasn't heel until he was in the Nation of Domination. But you know what I mean? I look at it like, did that help him? Sure, maybe, because he was with a faction of people, but he probably would have done it on his own. You know, he was developing that character when he first joined them. And that was when he first said that whole "die, Rocky, die." And then he started talking in third person and all that stuff, which was epic. Like Reek said, he already was turning on his dad, and there was this whole thing there. So when he became a slime ball, I became invested because you just love to hate him. And just like when they fight with each other and he's trying to keep the peace, he's like, guys, don't. And he's so annoying. You're like, just shut up, Dom. But I don't know.
I don't know. Female breakout wrestler of the year: Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Tiffany Stratton, Zoe Starks, or Billy Starks. I'm not a big women's wrestling fan, so I would have to say Zoe Stark. What the statement she made and again when she appeared in WWE, that was pretty epic. So,
I gotta say mine's a tie.
okay.
Honestly, I got Tiffany Stratton,
Yeah.
who definitely just blew it away this year. She really did. She's just so great. But I've already mentioned her earlier, man. Toni Storm. I like what she's done this year. I really do, man. She went to AEW and she just shines so bright over there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna go with Toni Storm, breakout of the year.
Nick D.
Breakout of the year. So this is female.
Yeah.
That wasn't really big before.
Yep.
And then had their breakout. What about Io Sky?
Yeah.
I mean, she was around, but I wouldn't say that she was big. I would say that she was just kind of underutilized. And then when she had her championship, like she was a challenger, and you were thinking it was just going to be just a squash match, and she was unbelievable. And Jayla loves her. My 14-year-old loves her. So I'll go with Io Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, but remember when Io was NXT Women's Champion? She was freaking great, man.
Okay. So she was kind of known. Well, then I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to think outside the box. So that's true. But so I don't know then. I plead the fifth.
All right. Best return debut of the year: CM Punk at Survivor Series. Rock returns to SmackDown. Adam Copeland, AEW. Mercedes Moné, New Japan. Randy Orton, WWE. Josh Alexander, Impact. Miro, AEW. Or Kerry Stain, WWE. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm going to say this. There is so many, just no pun intended, huge pops from those guys coming back and ladies. But me personally, when you mentioned it, it really reminded me when The Rock came back to SmackDown, the place didn't just erupt. They stayed erupted for a while. Like you couldn't get them to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And when Randy came back, of course, we all were like, yeah, this is awesome. When CM Punk came back, we're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But when The Rock came back, it's just he still has that to where he can draw that crowd.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I'm going to go with The Rock for mine. Rock coming back to SmackDown. Because I think it was more because we all thought this is it. This is going to be him going against the bloodline. Like who y'all forget who I am?
Yeah, going against the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, for me, it's going to be. I keep wanting to say Edge, but Adam showing up because it made me watch. I was shocked. I was shocked. I mean, I guess there's talk or there's rumor.
And he's gone. So I picked The Rock coming back at SmackDown.
Okay.
I personally felt like that was just it like I was saying to him, no pun intended, but huge pop. There was such a huge pop when The Rock came back. You couldn't get the crowd to silence. No. They just erupted.
I'm gonna have to go with my boy. I mean, you know who it is. I mean, that's not any hit. I mean, I loved when Adam Copeland returned at AEW, but you knew that was happening. You knew that was going to happen. I think. But that place went nuts. I'm going to give these two guys the credit where they are. I'm going to give them where these guys equally deserve it. And they were so good with each other doing it. I'm going to give it to CM Punk and Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those guys, there was no silence the minute Randy Orton showed up. And then he made that, he did that RKO out from the air like he did to end it. And everything he did in that match was storytelling. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you have a CM Punk doing that. So I give that to those guys.
No, I agree with you on that one, man. It's they don't. Like you really can't go wrong with any of these picks because all of them were just great.
Right. Big OMG moment. What was your biggest OMG moment, man? I mean, my brother and I talked about this one, and I'll just give me mine right off the hat, right off the top. The OMG moment was not even wrestling related. When we lost two of the most amazing talents in Bray Wyatt and
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk, man. I went, oh my God. That was unexpected. And for me, that was, oh man. So I don't know. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but to me, that was my oh my God moment. I was like, oh wow.
I think mine was, and just because it hasn't really been fulfilled yet, is when WWE signed Jade Cargill.
Yes.
Because it hasn't been fulfilled. And Hunter said it. When she says she's ready, it's go time. Yeah. So it's not them keeping her, saying, oh, no, you're not ready. She wants to make sure she's ready. Right. And I just can't wait because I watched her so much. She made me watch AEW.
Yeah. So biggest story of the year. There's some there's that when WWE sold to Endeavor, CM Punk's AEW issues and firing, Jade Cargill leaving AEW for WWE, the death of Bray Wyatt.
Obviously, I'm going to go with the death of Bray Wyatt. That was the biggest story, saddest story, but biggest story.
I will have to. But I give that to him on the oh my God. I guess I could flip flop my oh my God with the heat CM Punk got with the media scrum, and then he came back to Collision in Chicago, and then he has beef with Jack Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came over here. So I guess my oh my God is to see everything CM Punk did. And my biggest story would be the death of Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk.
Nikki D just messaged said my phone messed up. Something about it overheated. He goes, never done that before.
Got it. Well, my friend Rico, that was our show. We went an hour and 13 minutes. It's late up in Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
And I know you got to be to work at 6 a.m.
Actually, I don't have to work tomorrow, but I still get up at 4 because we go hit the gym.
All right. Huge Pop Wrestling fans, thank you for everything that you guys have done this year. It's been amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Rico, man, I couldn't have done it without you. 2024 is going to be big.
Oh, yeah.
So you ready to sign on the dotted line that we're going to do it again in 2024?
Oh, yeah. It's already signed, printed.
All right.
The ink's already dry.
All right. And Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast fans, pray for us because I'd like to do a road trip and meet Rico somewhere. We've talked about a couple things. Talked about Texas. But yeah, hopefully this year in 2024 you'll see Reek and Huge Pop on the same screen.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something cool. So everybody, we love you guys. Huge Pop Wrestling fan. You guys are amazing. And
have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house. Who
is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind, cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind, cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out.
Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with the devil, because when he's dealing with you, you cannot get on this level.
Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with a king. It's like a fight with an army, they got the tanks and everything.
He's leaving bruises and stitches, possibly leaving you crippled, cause when he sets up the table and sends you straight through the middle.
Six sadistic free, beat that ass with a light bulb. Leave a piece of glass embedded in the back of your skull. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the ground, cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down.